are not going to want to just jump off their development and their training to go somewhere else just to make higher pay but not get developed. They're all things. They're like, oh, that makes sense. Why? Because I know who I'm talking to. I'm using data and evidence to support it. 3, then I'm going to tie a compelling story to it. You want to frame your proposal in a way that highlights urgency and impact. An example, you can share a real or hypothetical patient case where sterile processing improvements could have prevented a complication. If there is something that happened at another facility, at another hospital, do you know how many hospitals get shut down for SSI reasons? Or hospital-acquired infections? You know how much money gets lost in delays? Do you know that 30% of all first cases in a hospital are delayed at least 30 minutes? Do you know how much that costs the hospital? It's about $150 a minute. So for 30 minutes of a delayed case, that's $4,500. $4,500. That cost. If there are 5 delays that year, that day, that's $22,000, $22,500. That cost the hospital because of delays. Lack of ownership, lack of accountability, lack of discipline. All trainable things that no one has the time to do it. You say, listen, I need to work with SIPs to get training development. We got to have this here. $22,500. If you just went and got all the delayed cases of the year, or you paid attention to how many cases were delayed and you tallied them and dated them yourself, and then you counted how long it was delayed, and you bring that data to your upline and say, we lost $22,500 this month because of delays, this week, today because of delays. Then you calculate it for the month. It happened every day. Surgical day, 25 days. Guess how much that cost the hospital? For just 5 delays for 30 minutes a day. How much does that cost the hospital? Can somebody see that? Can y'all see this? Is it backwards or forward? Oh, okay. I'm small on the screen. Okay, hold on. Let me stop. Let me stop sharing. Now, can y'all see it? 5 delays a day for 30 minutes. It's $22,500. $562,000. Well, let's multiply that times 12 months. That's $6.7 million that the hospital loses because of delays. But if no one in the organization understands that you standing on trial to get a trade done because you're mad you did more trades than the person that's next to you, it actually does affect your promotion. It actually does affect your raise. So the SPD, you say, listen, I see we have a lot of delays. I don't know if it's OR or it's us, but we're going to make sure that we're not a part of that. Then the OR said, hey, listen, I don't know if it's SPD or us, but we're going to make sure that we're not a part of that. Why? $6 million? I don't know about y'all, but that's a lot of money. And if you want to look at some of the hospitals that you're serving right now, depending on the surgery, that number is higher. If we don't truly develop like you are doing right now, if you're not truly developing and you're not convincing, now watch this. If you were to show your upline those numbers, how many of them would say, okay, let's get something figured out? I figured out how to talk to who I'm talking to. I'm using data and evidence to back it. I'm giving a compelling story that if we continue doing this, we're going to lose $5-6 million this year. And then I'm telling my upline leadership, you could be the hero that stops it. If we work together, we can fix it. Now we're focusing on the solution, not just the problems. Instead of just identifying an issue, we're presenting a feasible, structured plan to provide the solution. This is going to require for you to become more than just your position. You see how influence works? When you're just influential because of your position, you're going to stick to your job description. I'm doing my job. That's not influential. Influence says I'm going to go above and beyond even my job to make sure I'm adding value to the entire organization, not just shining on my shift. What do? We figured out who to talk to and how to talk to them. We're speaking to them in their language. If it's efficiency, I can do the same thing. I can say, hey, listen, we're not efficient. And the reason why we're not efficient is actually costing us about $6 million a year I've proposed. Well, how do you know that? It's about $125, $150 per minute, per billable minute that it cost the hospital to do one surgery. We were delayed 6 times just today. 6 times, and it was on average for 20 to 30 minutes. I did the math, and here are the numbers. If we don't stop this right here and become more efficient and get help, we're going to be in some trouble. Then guess what? You keep being inefficient. Then guess what happens? The surgeons get upset. Then the nurses get upset. And then SPD gets blowed. And everybody's mad. There's anxiety inside the entire organization. People are leaving. Now you have to start over. People are overworking. Stuff is happening in their personal life. And everything has a negative impact on productivity. Now equipment is being lost. Trying to wrangle all that in. Versus you as an influential leader say, hey, listen, if we keep this up, it's February. What can we do in our department to ensure that we're not the cause of that bottleneck? In the hospital saving $6 million to get SIPs, $150,000, $180,000 leadership talent development program in here. What would you want? Would you want a leadership development program that's less than $250,000 to save $6 million for the hospital? Then your department shows profitability. Now, guess what? Now your director, now your executive director, now your VP can say, hey, listen, we're under budget $3 million this year. Is there anything that we can do for our staff? Promotions we can give, more positions we can create, more hourly rates we can actually pay. They say, you may have a commitment issue in your organization. And you as the staying resident professional, you live there, you work there, but you got a gang of people that are temporary staff from more than one staffing agency. Do you know it's virtually impossible to create a culture where everyone works together? We have 3 different staffing agencies in one department. One is the strain that it puts on the person that's actually doing the work, that's there, that works for the hospital. 2, there's no way you can trust anybody because you don't know if they're going to stay or be there long term. And 3, every single different staffing agency has its own programming and plan with their own leadership that they have to answer to.